All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, Mr. Speed. Mr. Speed. Yes, sir. You know, it's kind of fascinating. One of the things you said that really resonated, I'm looking at the comments, is this targeting burnout landlords, right? You know, I think we can all relate, or at least understand, right, that, look, if you're not getting rent for months and months and maybe even a year, you're really struggling because you can't really do anything as the landlord, and you may not have the options that some of the other landlords have, right?
Yeah, you know, we started seeing this trend. We have understood that a lot of landlords found out buying their rentals took a lot more energy and effort.
Yeah.
And they found out they got a lot more invoices sometimes than they got net rent checks. Yeah. And that happened before the virus. But when the virus started, then we sort of knew there was a soft spot. Like, this investor really wasn't a hardened old-time landlord. You know, he was, a lot of times he was somebody that was making good money doing something, and kind of the husband and wife, or whatever that story is of them, they're like, oh, let's be like they are on HGTV. This looks like fun. And the fun investment took the fun out of it when they started having things go wrong with their rentals. And then all of a sudden, they're in a situation, in most cases, Brian, where they were not eligible for a forbearance. They couldn't stop making their mortgage payments, right? But yet, the tenant could stop paying them. Yeah. In other words, just because you have a Fannie Mae loan did not make you eligible for not making your mortgage payments. Yet if the tenant lived in a house that had a Fannie Mae mortgage, he by legal right could stop making his rent payments. And so we've been watching this for months, just knowing it was a balloon filling up, right? And I don't even think it's air. I think there's some liquid in this balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be ugly when it pops.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, a lot of times, especially if you follow the news and that kind of stuff, we hear about the problems, but a lot of times you don't hear about the solutions. So I was going to ask Eddie, you know, for the investors who they say, look, I want to actually try to find a way to help these landlords. You know, what are some ways that an investor can say, I want to be a part of the solution? I want to try to not just help because I'm a nice guy, but I'm going to find a profitable way to help these people. What are what's probably the easiest barrier to entry into helping these people out?
Statistics tell us that this small landlord, this 1 to 5 house property owner, right? 75% self-managed, and statistics also tells Brian that 60% pay cash. So there's a lot of them that they own the house free and clear. They could afford to sell or finance it to you, Brian, because they have all equity. And they really made a long-term investment when they bought it. So they weren't looking to cash in, they were looking to get a check. Well, what if they could get a check via, you know, an owner finance note where they finance you or I, Brian, to buy the property, and I could bake in all kind of clauses depending on the story and the situation. Even if I didn't have to start paying them today until I got the tenant evicted, it would relieve them of having to go deal with it. And now I've got a great long-term deal that I could rent the property down the road, or, you know, our strategy we love, Brian, we could resell it on a wrap note, and all of a sudden, boom, we build our own bank with it.
Well, you know, guys, and that's what we've been saying, is that, you know, most people that got into the landlording business, they wanted to participate in the, you know, in the run-up of the real estate business, but they only knew the bricks and mortar side, right? The property side of the business. They didn't know the note side of the business. And what they were looking for was passive income. And like you said, Eddie, the passive income, well, sometimes the invoices, you know, overpowered the money.
Yeah, we really saw, and obviously you see this in the slide deck that we did today. Remember, you can get the slide deck. Just email us at info@NoteSchool. Just make sure in the body of the email to tell us which presentation it was. And we'll be glad to send it to you. And Joe, we eliminated probably another 2 times of slides. had. We just didn't have enough time to do them. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of overwhelming data and things that are being written, at least at the loan servicer trade journal levels, about what's happening out here. So Brian, it's a market condition. Did you hear me say that loan servicers have already written a check for $90 billion to cover bondholders' principal and interest payments and the borrower's taxes and insurance payments? So Brian, the servicer is paying taxes and insurance on the house that he's not collecting payments on. How's that work?
It's a bad day.
Well, and the reason they're doing that, Eddie, is because if they did not, then that part of the market would collapse too. And then that would just, big word, right, exacerbate everything else.
Yeah, and part of it is it's I think I'm right in saying this. It's the thing they wrote in Dodd-Frank that kind of put the lender at a little bit of a risk there when they have an escrow account. But the bottom line is, we are going to see a day of reckoning, I believe, with loan servicers. Mm-hmm. So there is this shortage of credit, Brian, is not going the right direction. The shortage of credit is continuing to decline.
Yeah. Man, that's so good. I appreciate you sharing that. And I know we're wrapping up here on time, but I just wanted to encourage everybody, if this is something that you say, look, I hear what you're saying, I think I want to get involved, or I just need help learning this information, I would encourage you either to reach out to us on the Contact Us tab on our website, or just go to noteschool.com/TV to learn a little bit more. We appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for saying hi and hello. It is a lot of first-time people. I think that's really great. I love to hear from you guys. And so we'll catch you guys next weekend. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Eddie. We'll see you on the other side.
All right, guys.